Hi, this is Areeb Irshad, and in this video I want to touch upon one of the questions that I get asked a lot, and that question is, sir, whether I should go for MSc, whether I should go for MTech, MBA, you get the point, masters basically, or higher education. And my usual answer is that it depends. See, we live in a country where we have seen that the PhD candidates are applying for a job of constable. And I don't mean any kind of disrespect, but you can imagine that someone spent so many years studying something, a particular area or particular subject, and still they are not able to land a decent job. Why is that? One line answer: higher education is not always equal to career success. See, I think career success depends on a number of factors. Let's say you are able to go for an MBA from an IIM or your MTech from an IIT or NIT. In that case, we can definitely say that your career opportunities can expand. But the people who are able to go for an MTech or an MBA from these premier colleges are limited. There is a majority of population or majority of students who are not able to get into these colleges just because of competition or maybe lack of preparation, you could also say. So what about these students? What about these graduates? What are they going to do? Whether you decide to go for a master's or not, that is totally your call. But irrespective of the fact that you go for a master's from a premier college or from an average college which doesn't have a lot of opportunities, here is my recommendation that what you should be doing throughout your college life. It could be your graduation life or your post-graduation life. The number one thing that I recommend is to gain mastery in at least 2 to 3 skills relevant to your industry. See, you are hired on the basis of the skills that you bring to the table. If you don't have any kind of relevant skills, why would someone hire you? And another important thing that I want to highlight over here is that students think that if they pursue an online course and they get a certificate, they would be having that kind of skill. But there is a difference between just having a certificate sitting in your resume and having the mastery of the skill. Just because you have a certificate doesn't mean that you have the skill. So rather than just collecting certificates, try to go deeper into a skill or try to master at least 3 skills and go deeper into them. And these skills could be relevant to your industry. My second recommendation to you is build a network. Now, people think that sending a connection request on LinkedIn to someone is building a network. And if you have 1,000 people, if you send connection requests to 1,000 people, you will be having 1,000 people in the network. Now, on paper, according to LinkedIn, yes, you have 1,000 people, but are these 1,000 people even willing to help you? It's always better to have 100 close connections who are willing to help you rather than having thousands of people in your connection, in your network. And try to focus on the quality first of all. If you are connecting with someone, try to engage with them in a conversation. Try to add value to your community. People just make an account on LinkedIn, either they forget about it or they are just doom scrolling. They are just scrolling without giving any kind of thought about it. And if you are not engaging with the community, if you are not adding some kind of value to the community or to the network that you are a part of, then how can you expect that they will be able to help you or they are going to help you in the future when you need them? So you have to put in the work first. You have to think about the other person. That is how you build a network. The third recommendation is focus on soft skills. Now, people also call soft skills as interpersonal skills, and that is a huge domain. Under the interpersonal skills, we could be having verbal communication, non-verbal communication. It could be written communication. Another form of written communication is writing emails, which unfortunately a lot of students, a lot of graduates, even those who have completed their graduation and post-graduation, they don't know the right way to articulate themselves, articulate their thoughts, or right way to formulate an email. And if you see, I'm talking about email specifically in this point because in the workplaces, email is a primary mode of communication, just like we are communicating right now through a video. Or if you meet me, we are going to have a conversation face to face, right? But primarily in the workplaces, what is happening, the primary mode of communication is emailing. So you have to understand emailing. You could also learn about cold emailing, another amazing skill set to have in your belt. But of course, focus on the soft skills, empathizing with people, being collaborative in nature, and being a verbal communicator. If you are struggling with English, then maybe that's a good sign. You have to work on your English speaking skills. So These are some of the areas, and soft skills are so much important, especially in an interview or maybe in the meetings as well, because you could be having technical knowledge, you could be a topper of the class, but if you are not able to communicate what is in your mind, what are your thoughts, if you are not able to articulate them clearly, then what is the point really? So that is why focus on the soft skills. People neglect them, and once they have completed their graduation or post graduation, when they are sitting in an interview, they all of a sudden realize that they are weak in their soft skills, or they are not able to communicate, and now they are regretting that only if they were practicing soft skills just for 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day in the last 1 year or so, they would have improved significantly. So rather than waiting that I'm gonna wait for the right weather, or I'm going to wait for the right time, there is no right time. You have to start right now. My fourth recommendation is to be aware of industry trends and news. Now, depending on your industry, there is some specific news or some specific trends, or maybe there are thought leaders who are sharing their opinion. So you have to keep a tab on these people, the thought leaders or the trends of your industry. For example, maybe you are going for a job of a social media manager. Now, in that case, if you are handling Facebook, YouTube, maybe Instagram or LinkedIn, then you must be aware about the new features that have been recently launched. And let's say you are going for a job in the food safety industry or food safety department, then you must be aware about the laws and the standards of the food safety, at least of our country, if you are going for an Indian job, right? And you must be aware of the food safety issues that have been caused by some kind of malpractices or some kind of poor practices in the industry. So you must be aware of the recent trends and the news related to your specific industry, and just by being aware, just by being keeping a tab on these news or these activities, you can be ahead of the 80% of your competition. My fifth recommendation is to do internships and projects. Now again, when it comes to internships, LinkedIn is an amazing platform, because over LinkedIn you can not only build a network, you can also find internships, you can find remote work as well. Internshala can also be a good platform, although I haven't explored much about Internshala, so I cannot vouch for that, but definitely I have seen people getting internships from LinkedIn. So if you are not active, if you are still not active on LinkedIn, please go there. It is an uprising platform. We are seeing an organic boost on LinkedIn right now, but we may not be able to see that in the coming years. Maybe in 2022, 2023, that will go down. So if you are not utilizing LinkedIn even now, please do so. It's a request, it's a recommendation, or you can take that as an advice from from an elder brother. By the way, if you are already on LinkedIn, I have seen 3 major mistakes that students make, that beginners make on LinkedIn. And if you are making these mistakes, I'm not sure if you are making these mistakes, you can check this video over here. See this video. If you are making these mistakes, please don't do them, so that you can stay ahead of the curve, so that you can utilize the platform and you can grow on LinkedIn. I will see you next time.